Hello and welcome to video fragrance review number 2, and a big warm welcome to all my subscribers, both of you. And Mum, if you're watching, I did manage to get hold of the Meals on Wheels people, and they said they're really sorry about the shepherd's pie, but it is really difficult to keep the food at the right temperature in that van all day. But they did say they hope you feel better soon. Okay, so anyway, on with the review. So today's review is going to be Yves Saint Laurent Rive Gauche Pour Homme. Here it is. Okay, so this is an interesting one. It's a really popular fragrance, but a fragrance with a slightly controversial history because it was originally released in 2003 in a cylindrical can that looked a bit like a shaving foam or hairspray can. And then it was discontinued. They brought it back in 2011 as part of the La Collection series, which included a few other discontinued fragrances, most of which people felt had been reformulated and changed not for the better. However, GreggyBoy76, one of the best reviewers on YouTube, another reviewer from England, and who's a big fan of the original one, has done a really good review on it. He did say he'd sniffed this one, the reissue, and he couldn't tell a lot of difference. And I think he's someone who really cares about this fragrance. He's got a really good nose from what I can see, and a big collection. So I think if they changed it really noticeably for the worse, he would probably know and he'd tell us. So I feel maybe the changes aren't that huge. I've never smelled the old one, so I'm only going to be talking about this one today, and that's enough on that subject. Okay, so the designation for this fragrance is aromatic fougere. What does that mean? Well, an aromatic fougere, the fougere thing means fern-like, whatever that means. Aromatic means they've added some herbs and spices in fragrance parlance. So it's going to be a kind of green, rugged, manly type of smell with some herbal elements and a few other things going on to make it interesting. That's about all you can say. These designations don't really tell us a lot, to be quite honest, a lot of the time. It just tells us probably it won't be extremely aquatic, transparent fragrance or an extremely sweet gourmand, but anything other than that, quite possible with an aromatic fougere. Now then, so the packaging and appearance on this one, pretty good. The bottle here is square as a cube. It looks nice. The lid goes on kind of diagonally like that. Some people feel it doesn't have the charm of the original, but I thought the original looked a little bit cheap to me. That kind of tall cylindrical can just looked like a cheap thing that you would buy in Boots, not a fragrance. And this looks more like a typical designer fragrance. Not the most spectacular design. It's okay. It's got some nice writing there. And I think a good feature is they list some of the notes there on the side. So I think the packaging is nice, if unspectacular. Okay, top notes on this one. Rosemary, star anise, bergamot, and that's it. The mid, we've got lavender, cloves, geranium, and coumarin. The base consists of patchouli, gaiac wood, vetiver, and oak moss. So how does it smell? Well, I've got a little bit that I sprayed on a while ago on the back of my hand here. It smells masculine, creamy, a little bit herbal, very fresh and clean, with something a little bit dirty. If you can imagine a dirty version of cleanness with a little bit of rugged manliness, that would be my description of how this sounds. There is a bit of a note in here that reminds me a little bit of shaving cream, and everyone talks about that a lot, and I think that is a valid point, that there's that kind of shaving cream feel. Now, they describe it also as a barbershop fragrance, which suggests that it conjures up memories of barbershops. Either things you might have splashed on after you got a shave in a barbershop, or maybe other products that you find there. So when you go into some particularly old-fashioned barbershops, you've got the smell of the barbicide stuff that they sterilise the equipment in. You've got the smell of maybe some hair lacquer or hairspray and that kind of thing going on there. And maybe if there's some shaving going on, you might have the smell of shaving foam. And somehow, without being able to clearly identify all those things, this somehow does evoke that kind of memory in my brain. Okay, now people keep saying it smells like shaving foam. In a moment I'm going to compare it to shaving foam, but I'm going to spray a couple of fresh sprays of this one on here and just give you one more attempt to describe what I'm getting. It's a really nice opening. I guess that's the bergamot. We do get some freshness there, but it's more of a green kind of freshness rather than a citrusy one. And it smells really smooth. It does smell masculine. There's just a bit of herbalness, maybe just a hint of that kind of anise, that kind of licoriceiness, but it's really dialed down to a point where it's not offensive. So it smells very pleasant. It's a nice opening. I've got the dry down here. That's more creamy and smooth, and it's the kind of thing that would just be nice to have sitting on you throughout the day. Give you a kind of rugged, manly aroma. It's not going to offend anyone because it's really well blended and well done. It harks back or it evokes memories of some 70s and 80s kind of smells, but they've dialed down everything you might not like about things like Paco Rabanne Pour Homme or Azaro Pour Homme, and they've dialed up all the good stuff in that and kind of brought it up to date. So I think they've done a really good job with the smell. It's nice. Who would wear this kind of fragrance? It's a little bit suggestive of a more mature person. You'd be quite brave to wear this in your early 20s, but you certainly could. It would suggest somebody in their 30s and upwards. Probably it would be great for someone in their 40s, 50s, 60s, definitely, but it could go with a younger man, mid-20s and upwards, maybe in a sharp suit. This gives you that kind of manly feel, and it kind of says, I don't follow the crowd. I've thought about what I like. I like this smell, and I'm going to wear it, even if it's not fashionable, and even if it's not the latest release that everyone's raving about, that's advertised on bus stops and picture of Johnny Depp or whoever. You know, this is the one you wouldn't find getting pushed if you went into your local place where they sell fragrances. You went into a department store, even if you went to the Yves Saint Laurent boutique at your department store, I think they'd be telling you might like La Nuit de l'Homme or the original L'Homme or some of the various flankers of those way before they'd ever think that you might like this one. But somebody must be buying it because it's out there, it's available. I forgot to mention the price. That was £62 for 80 mils. So it's about average at the higher end of designer prices, similar to Chanel or Dior typical prices. So it's not super cheap, but there's lots more expensive fragrances out there. Back to who would wear this. What kind of people might enjoy this? Well, I mentioned it might be for older people, people who have their own ideas about how they want to present themselves. I also think with the current vogue for beards that's going on where I live, a lot of young guys, younger than me, I'm 39, a lot of people in their 20s and stuff, Premier League footballers and celebrities, are sporting these rather spectacular thick beards. But they're beards that look like they've been well groomed. They're kind of very tailored to be a certain shape, and they've got these interesting haircuts and all this kind of stuff. So you notice in the chemists and stores where they sell this kind of stuff that there's a lot of men's beard grooming products out. And with this kind of barbershop feel, this kind of reminiscent of shaving cream or beard lacquer or whatever it might be, somehow this would be a really appropriate fragrance that some of those people might like to try. You know, they've got the look, they're talking the talk with the beard thing. Now it's time they walk the walk with a bit of Rive Gauche to give them that rugged, manly feel that goes with the beard. So I think people like that could do well to check this out and kind of go off the beaten track a bit if they really want to have a nice addition to their trendy, beardy look. Okay, so where would you wear it? Could you wear it on a date? Yes, definitely you could. There might be more safe choices. You might feel that it might remind someone of their dad with a slightly old-fashioned feel, but there could be a certain Freudian advantage in that. So I say you could wear it on a date, but it does kind of say I'm a person who likes what I like and I don't follow the crowd. So you might feel a little bit nervous about making such a bold statement on a first date. So yeah, consider it, but maybe not. Definitely great for just going down to a pub with male friends for a drink, that kind of thing. It would work really well for that. You could wear it to work because it just gives a slightly manly, clean feeling, which is not going to be too in your face. So I think you could wear it to work if you like to. Maybe go easy on the sprays. Nights out, definitely you can wear it. Spring, yes, definitely. Winter, undoubtedly it'll be fine. And autumn, maybe not in the high summer heat, but that's about the only time when I think this might not work so well. So in terms of the performance on this one, the projection I think is pretty good. I think we get pretty good projection out of this, judging by the fact that I'm a little bit aware of it as I wear it. I find projection really hard to judge because my nose is here and my fragrance is here, and I can't really get my nose much further away from me than it is, however much I stretch. So how am I supposed to know how much is projecting somewhere else? unless anyone else tells me, and I think, oh, he was 3 meters away, so it obviously projects 3 meters. I don't know how you judge projection. I might do a video about that, but longevity, I can certainly say, is really good. It stays on your wrist or wherever you sprayed it, and it's there for hours and hours. So I think projection is good, performance is good. The smell of this is quite unique. There aren't too many things that are exactly the same, and I really like it. It's a rugged barbershop smell with a kind of retro feel, updated to be wearable in the 2000 and whatevers, we're in the 2010s, and I really like it. I would give it 8 out of 10 overall. It's really good, maybe not 9 or 10 because it's one you've got to be in the mood for, and it doesn't have anything incredibly spectacular about the smell, but it does have something a little bit unique, a little bit retro, and very likable for most people. There just might be a few for whom it really wouldn't be your thing, so definitely try before you buy. I bought this one, not the reissue, because I had actually been able to smell this one, so it didn't have to be a blind buy, and I know I like it. Some people say the original is a tiny bit rougher, so I think maybe I'd prefer the smoother version. Let me know if anyone's tried both and you think there's a big difference. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon with another review, and have a great day. Bye bye.